And a lot of people talk to me about feeling bad after they get cheated on, about feeling powerless, about feeling hurt, about feeling broken, about feeling a sense of anger and resentment towards what happened. And they want to know what it is that they can do to get over this feeling, to kind of get their power back and get back on their feet after somebody has cheated on them, especially if this has happened to them multiple times. Well, here's some of the things that you can do to get your power back after somebody has cheated on you. The first thing you really need to do is be real with yourself. And what I mean by that is you have to be real about why you feel this way. Why are you so hurt right now? And the reality is, cheating is a form of rejection for most of us. Most of the time when someone cheats on you, you don't just take that as an act that they did that's separate from the relationship or separate from you. You take it as a personal hit. So it hits you like any rejection does. Now I know it's going to be a bunch of people in the comment section like, I don't take it as a rejection. Or, no, it ain't a rejection to me, dog. I don't see it that way. Well, that's part of it. That's part of the same thing. That's the facade you put on. That's the shield that you put up to protect you from what you're really feeling. But deep inside, below the surface, the part of the you that you don't really show to everybody else, whenever you feel any kind of rejection, when you get cheated on, when you don't get a job, when somebody doesn't come up and talk to you, when you don't get a certain compliment, you feel rejected. And then what happens below the surface, the part that you don't tell everybody about, the part you don't show everybody out loud and that you probably wouldn't put in the comment section, is you start checking off boxes. Whenever somebody doesn't give you the things that you think you deserve, or you don't get what you think you need, when that happens, you start checking off these boxes. You start thinking of all the reasons why this person didn't do what you wanted them to do, or why they didn't like you, or why you didn't get that job, or why you didn't get the promotion, or why you got the grades you got, or why people aren't acknowledging you for whatever it is you think you should be acknowledged for. You start checking off these boxes. Man, maybe I'm just not social enough. Man, maybe people don't like me. Maybe I'm ugly. Maybe I'm stupid. Man, if I just talked more. Man, if I dressed better. Man, if I just would do anything better. Maybe if I lost weight. What if I was taller? What if I was a little shorter? What if I was thinner? What if I had a little bit more meat on my bones? What if I had any of these things? I bet you this wouldn't have happened. I bet you I would have got that job if I would have went to a better school. I bet you I would have got that job if I'd have grown up in a better neighborhood. I bet you I would have got that job if I was a minority. I bet you I would have got that job if I wasn't a minority. I bet you I would have got that job if they weren't transphobic or homophobic or anti-Semitic or racist. If I didn't have any of these issues, man, I bet you I would have got that job. We start filling in the blanks. And this is with any kind of rejection. Somebody cheats on you and you feel that rejection. Man, I bet you they wouldn't have cheated on me if I looked better. Man, I bet you they wouldn't have cheated on me if I was younger. Man, I bet you they wouldn't have cheated on me if I was older. Man, if I had a better job. Man, if I was better in bed. Man, if my family wasn't so messed up. Man, if I had a better education. Man, if I could speak better. Man, if I wasn't so shy. Man, if I wasn't so outgoing. Man, if I didn't have a past that I have. You start feeling all of these feelings inside when somebody does something, when you feel a certain rejection and you don't want to feel those feelings. So what do? You go back to a default that you learned a long time ago. And this is where you start losing your power. See, when you were a kid, for most of us, it was either our parents, a friend of the family, a teacher, somebody. When we got rejected and they saw the hurt in our eyes, they saw us crying or they saw us down, they tried to reach out and help. And what they did to help actually handicapped most of us for the rest of our lives. And it's something that you're probably still dealing with to this day. What did they do? They told you it's not you, it's them. They told you, no, all of this checklist that you're going down, they didn't pick you for the kickball team. No, it's not because you have weak legs. No, it's not because you can't run fast. No, it's not because you can't catch. Or no, it's not because your mommy and daddy didn't buy you the nice new shoes that would make you popular amongst the other kids. No, it's not because you struggle with reading in class and kids have been making fun of you so they don't want to pick you and put you on their team. No, it's not because you're kind of quiet and people don't want to talk to you because you never talk back or you don't really have anything that they feel you should need to be talking about. No, it's not because you got busted at school and you come from a lower economic status. No, that's not it. It's because these kids are stuck up, ugly brats and they're a bunch of losers and they're jealous of you. Or it's because they're a bunch of haters, or it's because of whatever. They start putting in all of these different things that have nothing to do with you and that you can have absolutely no control over. What they're doing is trying to help you. They're trying to lift you up and they're trying to protect your self-esteem. But unfortunately, what they do is they plant a seed that lasts for a lifetime. Now, instead of just not getting picked for the kickball team, not being picked to play store with all your little buddies, or not being picked for student council, or whatever it was that may have happened when you were young, instead of that becoming just an incident based on some set of circumstances that existed at the time, now it becomes an indictment on people and a personal attack. Now you start believing that when things don't go your way, that's what it is. Deep down, you really know. And you start checking off certain boxes and saying, man, maybe they didn't pick me because I don't have the nicest new shoes. Maybe they didn't pick me because I'm not the coolest person. Maybe they didn't pick me because I don't talk a lot. Maybe they didn't pick me because I don't have the coolest hairstyle. Whatever. You start checking off those boxes, but that hurts to check off those boxes. It hurts because some of the things you can't even do anything about. And the things that you can, that's a lot of effort sometimes. It's easier to go back to the default and the thing that they taught you. They're a bunch of lames. They're jealous. They're haters. They're racist. They're transphobic. They're homophobic. They're anti-Semitic. They're doing this to me because I'm a white guy. They're doing this to me because I'm a black guy. I'm a white woman. Whatever the case may be. We start thinking these types of things and we start becoming programmed to think these types of things because it's so much easier than actually looking below the surface and starting to check the boxes that naturally exist inside of us. The things that we start looking at as we start measuring ourselves against the world. So when we get older, we do this in everything. What is the first thing we do when somebody cheats on us? We start trying to psychoanalyze that person. Oh, they must be a narcissist. Oh, they're a fuckboy. Oh, they're a slut. Oh, they're afraid of commitment. And as we start doing that, we start projecting that on even people who we haven't started dating yet. We now start doing this because as we get older, we get smarter, right? And we get more adapted to these things, these protection mechanisms. So now, instead of sitting over here saying, okay, they didn't pick me for this job, so now let me fill in all the blanks with all this other stuff I want to say about them, we do it beforehand. Before we even go to the job, man, they ain't going to pick me because I'm not a minority, and they're probably looking for a minority. Man, they're not going to pick me because they're probably racist. They're probably anti-Semitic. They're probably not even really trying to hire anybody. So you come into a situation with these attitudes. So you already ready to do this before you even meet the people, before you even talk to the person. So now when you get in a relationship, before you even get cheated on, before it even goes bad, before anything happens, you're already trying to figure out how this person is a narcissist, how they're a fuckboy, how they're a slut, how they really like bad boys, how they're stupid, how they're worthless, how they're a cheater anyway. You're already trying to figure out all of these negative things to feel about this person before you even go out with them on a consistent basis or before they ever cheat on you and do anything to reject you. This is where your power goes. You never had it even before they cheated on you because you're already looking for something. You're already looking for a way to qualify or to disqualify them as being a good person. You become the sour grapes king or the sour grapes queen. That's how you've become because that's your protection mechanism. You don't want to look at things about yourself. You don't want to connect with those things. So you immediately start finding ways to psychoanalyze everybody else and try to pretend like you don't want anything. That's why you see people get in this comment section. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. That's what I really want. No, you don't, or you wouldn't even be putting that out there. You wouldn't need to. you wouldn't even be watching the video in the first place. You wouldn't even be watching any of these videos or any of the ones that you're going to see if you stop watching this and go watch something else. That's the reality of it. But you got to say that because it's all about the sour grapes. It's to protect the ego, because that's what we get taught when we're kids. Because let's be real. When you're a child, it works a little bit better because you don't have control over your life. There's so many things you can't control. You can't buy new shoes. Mommy and daddy have to buy them. And sometimes they can't help you, and it hurts. Sometimes mommy and daddy, like say you don't get that prom date. You're at home watching TV with your parents, and they see you crying and they see you hurting. And they know that there are things that they probably could have done that would have put you in a better position to get a prom date, but they couldn't do it because they just didn't have the ability to. If they would have bought you a Ferrari, would you have got a prom date? Probably. If they would have bought you the prettiest clothes and got your hair done at the best place in the world and took you to all the little charm schools and everything else, would you have gotten a prom date? Yes. If they lived in a freaking mansion and they were able to invite people over to the most extravagant parties and they only invited the people who liked you, that you liked, would you have gotten a prom date? Obviously, because somebody would have wanted to be a part of whatever you had going on. But they couldn't do that. So when you ask them, what happened? Why didn't I get this prom date? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? They could tell you about the things that you could control, that you could change, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. So they say, oh, these people are all jerks. They're stupid. Don't worry, things will get better. So that's what you kind of do for yourself as time goes on. And it stifles your growth. This is why you don't feel powerful whenever something happens, because you really don't know what you can do to change it. You spend so much time trying to psychoanalyze whoever broke up with you, whoever cheated on you, whoever didn't give you that job, that you don't feel like you have any strength and any power. So once you understand this concept, now you can stop doing certain things. Understand that if they cheated on you, they did that for them. Whether they're a narcissist or a fuck boy or whatever they might be, or a slut or a hoe, whatever you want to call a person, whatever you might think they are, you're never going to really know that. And you don't want to have to invest yourself in negative aspects of someone else in order to feel good. What do I mean by that? You don't want to be in a situation as if you find out they got married 2 or 3 years later. Now you got to try to downplay their marriage, or you got to try to sit here and hope the worst for it. I hope they get divorced. Deep down in your mind and in your heart, you don't want to have to feel that way. Don't worry about it. Whatever they did was for them. Leave it at that. Once you can do that, once you can stop taking what they did personally, then you can start focusing on yourself. And that's the next thing you need to do to get your power back. Stop with all the other stuff. I understand that it's easier. I understand they're a narcissist, they're racist, sexist, all this stuff. Some of those things may even be true. But that doesn't have anything to do with you, and there's nothing you can do about that. If you want your power back, now you can start focusing on yourself. And now we got to go to some of the tough places. Let's keep it real. When somebody rejects us, we start thinking about all the negative things about ourselves, and it hurts. We start thinking about things we can't control and things that we can. Well, if you can start focusing on yourself and go through that uncomfortable, hard period, now you can start triaging the things that you can actually affect. They could have broken up with you for any reason, and it really doesn't matter. But we know it's going to trigger the checklist. So when it does, let's start looking at the things that we can actually change about ourselves. Not for them, not for the next person, not for anyone else, but so that we can start taking control of our own lives, start taking our own power back. You know what? I would like to have a better job. So maybe I do need to go back to school and get more education. Maybe I do need to find a trade. Maybe I do need to get back in the gym and start eating a little bit better. Maybe I do need to start reaching out to my family members and finding out some of the things about myself. Maybe I do need to stop being so combative when I deal with other people. Maybe I could take an anger management class. Maybe I can go and talk to some people about some of my different issues. Maybe that's why I may not have a lot of friends or something like that. Okay, these are things about myself I can change. Yeah, maybe I am too short. Maybe I am too tall. I can't do anything about that. And as you start changing the things that you actually can do something about, as you actually start fixing the things that you know are hurting you or you know you could improve upon, it becomes easier for you to deal with the things that you can't change. Now, it's real when you say, they're like this, I'm going to let it go and move on. Because you're working on the things that you can change. Now, when you don't get picked for that job, you say, yeah, it's one of the things that I can't change because I've worked on all the things I can change and I've improved them to the best of my ability. Or even if they don't pick you, say, well, maybe they didn't pick me because I'm a little too chubby, but I've been working on that. Maybe they didn't pick me because I'm a little too skinny, but I've been working on that. Maybe they didn't pick me because my attitude might have got a little out of control, or maybe I don't speak as well as I wish I could, or maybe my handwriting isn't as good, or maybe I have typos in some of the things that I write. But you know what? I've been working on that, so I'm not even going to trip because I already know that's something that I'm working on, and I'm benefiting myself. So if it wasn't good enough for you right now, hey, the next person might love it because I'm getting better every day. I'm not getting worse. When you start getting to that point, then the things you can't change become something that you don't worry about because you're so focused on the things you can change. That's how you take your power back. When you stop worrying about why everybody did what they did and start saying, you know what, they did it for them. Let it go. And you start focusing on the things that you could actually change even before things happen. Remember, we're human beings and we evolve and we get smarter and smarter. So we get better and better at deluding ourselves. So you have to start preemptively striking in the same way you have been. Instead of going sour grapes, go effective change. Okay, I know that they may not want to pick me for this because of this thing that I can change. So next time I go up for the kickball team, guess what? I'm going to make my legs a little bit stronger because I'm going to work out a little bit more on them. I'm going to get a little faster. I'm going to talk to people ahead of time and start making some friends around the room. I'm going to do all the things that I know I could change. When I was a kid, maybe I couldn't change my life because I was a little kid. But now I'm a grown-up and I can change things in my life. I can affect my life. Thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for trying to protect me as well as you possibly could. But now I'm a grown-up and I have the ability to change my life and affect my situation. And I can face my positives, my negatives, the things I can change and the things I can't, and move forward. That's how you take your power back.